If you're watching this video right now, you have goals which you want to achieve, and this could be any goal. It could be about business, could be about school, could be about the gym, fitness, anything. And the thing about these goals is that you have to go down the same path to get all of these, no matter what the goal is. So today I'll just talk about that path and talk about a few tips which you can just use to actually make this a lot easier. And my first tip is just stick to one goal basically. You might have heard of this before, but I'll just put on screen a diagram of, it's basically the essentialist diagram basically. It's from a book called Essentialism, which I also recommend. I'll link in the description. But the essentialist diagram is basically, it shows an arrow pointing in those directions, and that's you when you focus on so many goals. You just go barely anywhere in so many directions when you focus on everything. But if you focus on one goal and you get one arrow and you just focus on this goal, you can go so much further. It's like one step in a million directions if you just focus on so many goals. But just focusing on one goal which you're actually passionate about, which you actually really want to achieve, which you actually really work on, you get so much more enjoyment, so much more success if you just focus on this one goal. And I know this is going to be really hard with school and stuff, because I know a lot of young people watch these type of videos and everyone mentions just stick to one thing, but it's pretty much impossible to stick to one thing for people who have to focus on school as well as what if they want to do in their free time, you know. So all I'm going to say is just limit it down to as low as you can get. Remember the diagram. Remember, if you focus on less, you'll get better at them, you'll get more enjoyment from them, and you just get way more fulfillment out of life and everything. So yeah, remember the diagram, and yeah, that you should be fine. My second step might be the most important one I have to talk about, and that's literally just writing down the goals. And this is important, it has to be on a piece of paper, not typing away on a laptop or using your phone, opening a new note and using your phone to write down your goals. Just write it down, get a piece of paper and literally just write it down, and it'll make you 1,000 times more likely to achieve this goal. I know this sounds crazy, but honestly, just writing down these goals gives yourself direction and gives yourself more understanding of where you actually want to be. Because some people say, well, I'm going to achieve this goal, I'm going to achieve $10,000 in a month. Like, you can say that in your head, but writing it down on paper just sends it to your brain more. It just makes you more focused on the direction of this goal. Write down not just the actual nouns of these goals, but actually the verbs of the goals. And what that means basically, let's say you've got a new goal to get good grades by the end of the year. You don't write down get good grades in your goal list or whatever. Write down exactly what you're going to do. Write down, do questions, read textbook, whatever. Write those verbs down. Or just make it a lot simpler. I know this sounds obvious, but it just makes it a lot simpler for you to actually understand, and it breaks it down to you in steps. Because a goal that seems way too ambitious can seem really scary for people at the start when they literally make no progress at all. But if you set it out in steps, it'll just make it a lot easier for you to actually follow through with this goal. And another thing, which is also really important, and something I've tried recently, is write down 100 goals. And I know that might seem kind of demanding at first, but I don't have 100 goals. Like, when I first heard of this, I was like, I didn't have 100 goals to write down, you know. But the thing is, you make stuff up, you make things up in the moment when you're writing down these goals, and you actually realise there's a lot of things you want to achieve, and you should write them down. Because I already said, writing goals down can just make it seem a lot more simple for you to actually reach these goals. So write down these goals, keep adding to this list. It doesn't just have to be 100, it can be as many as possible, literally. Write these down, especially, like I said before, on paper. This makes a lot more sense to me personally. Just using paper, honestly, just puts in your mind better than just writing it down on a laptop or on your phone or anything. So write down on paper 100 goals or more. Just write down these goals, it could be short term, long term. Just write down anything which comes to your head, literally, these goals which come to your head, which you want to achieve. Visualizing is also another really big thing about goal setting, and I know it might sound a little bit like wishy-washy if you know the like general stuff about visualizing. If you just visualize something, you're not going to achieve it. But honestly, if you just take a few moments out of your day to actually visualize on this goal, it's the whole thing about setting your mind on its direction towards this goal. It just sets your mind. Let's say you're visualizing about getting a good body, going to the gym and everything. If you actually visualize this in your mind a few seconds a day, it doesn't have to be long. It just sets you, just in your mind, it just sets you in the direction of your goal, basically. And that's the whole purpose of this visualization. And the thing which really goes hand in hand with this is affirmations, basically, and just saying to yourself, you're the best. And literally saying out loud to yourself, you're the best. I know this sounds, you've heard of all this advice before and it sounds total nonsense, you know, but honestly, saying to yourself, you're the best, can honestly build up in your mind over time and actually convince your mind you are the best and convince you to keep going, keep trying, keep pursuing your goal. And honestly, if you don't believe it, just try it. Honestly, just try it for a month and see if you see any differences. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But honestly, from my experience, both visualization, affirmations have been honestly really helpful for me. So just try this, literally. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And the last thing I'll talk about is just about the compound effect. And it's the whole thing, you've heard about it before, it's the whole thing about, like, let's say you have a penny and you double it for 30 days. It might seem small at the start, but at the end, day 30, you can have about $5 million. It's that kind of thing. If you keep doing the same thing every day, you won't see progress the next day, the day after, weeks after, months after, but you will see progress in years. We're talking about these big goals here. You'll see progress in years, maybe you'll see progress in months, depending on the goal, but the point is, you won't see progress immediately. And there's going to be times where you feel like you're not making any progress, but you have to just believe in the compound effect. It's like the whole penny thing. You double your penny, on day 10, you only literally have $5. But on day 30, you have 5 million. So it's that kind of thing. You have to keep going with these goals every day. Don't get demotivated because you don't reach the goal immediately. These goals take time. Everyone who's ever been successful takes time to actually build up. Nothing happens overnight. I know that's so cliche, but it's honestly so true. You just have to believe in the compound effect, basically. And there's a saying I actually read. There's nothing today you can do which will just dramatically improve your chances of getting to that goal. I mean, there's nothing totally dramatic you can do today. It's all built up over time of doing the habits. It sounds boring, but it's the truth. You just need to understand this and to just stop being demotivated and quitting after like a failure. You have to keep going. So yeah, thank you for watching, and subscribe for more videos like this, and just remember the compound effect. Just keep going every day. Don't get demotivated on day 10 when you only make $5. Stick around for day 30, you'll make 5 million and you'll achieve all your goals. Just remember that mindset, that analogy in your head.